Let me tell you something. Winners don't wake up and hope for success. Winners get up, push themselves, and make success happen. See, everybody wants to be great, but not everybody is willing to go through the process. You can't just sit back and wish for it. You can't pray for it and then do nothing. You got to work, you got to grind, and you got to push yourself every single day like a champion. Life is going to test you. It's going to throw obstacles in your way. There will be days when you feel tired, days when you feel defeated, days when you just want to quit. But that's the moment when you got to dig deep and remind yourself who you are. Winners create success. They don't wait for it. That right there is the difference between people who make it and people who don't. Too many folks are sitting around waiting for life to hand them something, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for the right moment, waiting for somebody to come along and change their situation. But life doesn't work like that. Success doesn't just show up at your doorstep because you want it. It comes to the people who go out and chase it down, the people who refuse to sit still and hope for something better. Think about the most successful people in the world: athletes, entrepreneurs, entertainers, leaders. They didn't wait for a perfect time to start. They didn't sit around hoping for a miracle. They got up every single day and put in the work even when they didn't feel like it. They created their own opportunities. They knocked on doors until one opened. They pushed through rejection, failure, and frustration because they knew that success was something they had to go get, not something that was just going to be given to them. A lot of people say they want success, but what they really mean is they want it if it's easy. They want it if it comes without struggle, without sacrifice, without discomfort. But that's not how winning works. If you want to be great, you have to be willing to take action even when you're scared, even when you're uncertain, even when you don't have all the answers. You have to step out on faith and bet on yourself. Because if you're just sitting there waiting for life to hand you something, you'll be waiting forever. There are people who spend years talking about what they're gonna do. I'm gonna start my business. I'm gonna get in shape. I'm gonna chase my dreams. But all they do is talk. They never move. They never act. They wait for motivation to strike, for the stars to align, for some perfect moment that's never gonna come. And in the meantime, life is passing them by. Time is running out. Somebody else is out there putting in the work, making the sacrifices, doing what needs to be done while they're still sitting on the sidelines waiting. Successful people understand one thing: action beats waiting every single time. You don't have to have everything figured out to start. You don't need the perfect plan. You just need to take the first step. Because once you start moving, momentum builds, confidence grows, doors open. But if you stay still, if you keep making excuses, if you keep waiting for something magical to happen, you'll stay right where you are. Stuck, frustrated, watching other people live the life you say you want. It's not about luck. It's not about talent. It's about movement. It's about effort. It's about waking up every single day and deciding that no matter what, you're going to take action. You're going to make a move. You're going to create opportunities instead of waiting for them. Because when you do that, when you refuse to be passive, when you refuse to sit back and hope, you take control of your future. You put yourself in the driver's seat. And that's the difference between winners and everybody else. Life will test you. It will throw obstacles in your way, challenge your patience, and demand more from you than you ever thought you had. And the truth is, most people stop when it gets hard. They start strong, full of energy and motivation, but the moment things don't go as planned, they back down. They let the struggle break them instead of pushing through it. But the ones who win, the ones who make it to the top, they understand that pain is part of the process. They don't run from it. They don't make excuses. They push forward even when everything in them says to stop. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, luck, or even intelligence. It's grit. It's the ability to keep moving forward even when the road is rough. Most people only push when it's convenient. When things are going their way, they feel unstoppable. But the moment life punches them in the mouth, they crumble. They let failure convince them they're not good enough. They let setbacks drain their confidence. They let struggle convince them that maybe their dream isn't meant for them. But the truth is, struggle is meant to shape you. It's meant to make you stronger, to teach you lessons, to prepare you for what's coming next. You can't expect the journey to be easy. You can't think that success will come without sacrifice. The people who have made it to the top have been through storms, disappointments, and pain that would have made most people quit. But they kept going. They kept showing up. They kept grinding, even when they were tired, even when nobody believed in them, even when they had every reason to give up. That's what separates winners from everybody else. It's not that they don't struggle, it's that they refuse to let struggle stop them. Most people think that when they hit a wall, it's a sign to stop. But real winners know that when you hit a wall, you dig deep and push harder. Because that wall isn't there to keep you out, it's there to see how bad you really want it. It's there to test your patience, your resilience, your hunger. Everybody wants to win, but not everybody is willing to suffer for it. Not everybody is willing to go through the tough days, the lonely nights, the moments of doubt. But if you want to be great, you have to learn to keep pushing when it hurts. Struggle is not your enemy, it's your teacher. Every tough moment, every failure, every obstacle is giving you something. It's giving you experience, wisdom, and strength that you wouldn't have had otherwise. It's preparing you for the bigger battles ahead. But if you run from struggle, if you let it break you instead of build you, you'll never get to where you're trying to go. Winners don't see pain as a reason to stop. They see it as proof that they're on the right track. They know that every time they push through, they become stronger. They know that every time they refuse to quit, they separate themselves from the people who will never make it. They understand that struggle isn't a punishment, it's a part of the process. Success is not about waking up every morning feeling motivated. It's not about waiting for that perfect burst of energy to get things done. The truth is, motivation fades. Some days you wake up ready to take on the world, and other days you don't feel like doing anything at all. But the ones who win, the ones who build something great, they don't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. They understand that motivation is temporary, but discipline will carry you through even when you don't feel like showing up. Most people think they need to feel inspired before they take action. They tell themselves they'll start working hard when they feel ready. They wait for the right mood, the right energy, the right timing. But that's the trap. Because if you let your emotions dictate your actions, you'll never be consistent. Some days you'll be excited, some days you'll be tired, some days you'll be frustrated. And if you only push when you feel good, you'll never push hard enough to actually achieve something great. The difference between successful people and everybody else is that they show up regardless of how they feel. They wake up and put in the work even when they're tired, even when they don't want to, even when there's no immediate reward. They understand that discipline is the real key to winning. Because discipline means you do it anyway. It means you train yourself to take action whether you feel like it or not. Think about the greatest athletes, the top entrepreneurs, the most successful people in the world. Do you think they always feel motivated? Do you think they always wake up with a smile, ready to grind? No. But they've trained themselves to push forward no matter what. They've built habits that keep them moving even when their mind is trying to convince them to stop. That's the level of discipline you need if you really want to win. People love to talk about their dreams, but most aren't willing to do the work when it gets boring or tough. They start strong, full of passion, but when the excitement fades, they slow down. They take days off. They make excuses. And before they know it, they've lost all the momentum they had. That's why most people never reach their full potential, because they only give effort when it feels good. Winners don't operate like that. They push forward every day whether they're excited or not. they understand that real growth happens when you keep going, even on the days when you'd rather quit. There will be mornings when you wake up and don't feel like doing anything. There will be times when your mind tries to convince you to take it easy, to put things off until tomorrow, to skip a day. And in those moments, that's when you have to push the hardest, because that's the battle between the old you and the new you. That's the test that separates the people who stay average from the people who rise to the top. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's training yourself to take action no matter what's going on around you. It's building habits so strong that they carry you forward even when motivation is gone. Because the truth is, if you only work when you feel good, you'll never work hard enough to win. Excuses are the number one thing standing between most people and their dreams. It's not lack of opportunity, it's not bad luck, and it's not because life is unfair. It's because too many people have convinced themselves that they can't, when the truth is they won't. Every time they come up against a challenge, instead of finding a way through it, they find a reason why it's not possible. Instead of pushing forward, they settle for a story that justifies why they're stuck. But here's the truth. You can have excuses or you can have success. You can't have both. People love to say they don't have enough time. They act like the people who made it had more hours in a day. But the reality is, we all get the same 24 hours. The difference is, winners use their time wisely. They cut out distractions, they sacrifice comfort, they get up early, they stay up late, they make the time. Because when something truly matters to you, you find a way to get it done. People say they don't have enough money, but success isn't about money, it's about effort. Some of the most successful people in the world started with nothing. They didn't wait for the perfect situation. They started where they were with what they had, and they worked their way up. Another excuse people love to make is that they don't have the right connections. They think they need someone to come in and save them, to open the doors for them. But the truth is, winners don't wait for doors to open. They build their own doors. They don't sit around waiting for a handout. They put in the work, they stay consistent, and eventually the right people find them. The right opportunities come when you show up every day and prove you're serious. Fear is another excuse disguised as a reason. People say they're waiting until they feel ready, waiting until they have more confidence, waiting until the fear goes away, but fear never leaves. The difference between people who succeed and people who don't is that the ones who make it feel fear just like everybody else, but they move forward anyway. They don't let fear stop them because they understand that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action despite it. Some people say they're too tired, that they've already been through too much, that life has beaten them down, and maybe they have struggled. Maybe life hasn't been fair to them. But there are people who have been through worse and still made it. There are people who had every reason to quit, but they chose to rise instead. The difference isn't in the circumstances, it's in the mindset. The moment you stop looking at your past as a limitation and start seeing it as fuel is the moment your life changes. The truth is, every excuse you make is just a lie you tell yourself to stay comfortable. Because pushing forward is hard. Growth is uncomfortable. Success demands effort, sacrifice, and discipline. And the mind will always try to protect you from discomfort by giving you an excuse to quit. But if you let those excuses win, you'll never reach your full potential. You'll always wonder what could have been. If only you had pushed a little harder. If only you had stopped making excuses and started making moves. Your dreams are not waiting for you. They are not sitting around hoping one day you'll finally decide to go after them. They are not on pause while you take your time thinking, doubting, hesitating. Every single day you waste, somebody else is out there putting in the work, going after what you say you want. Every second you spend waiting for the right moment, someone else is making moves, taking risks and turning their dreams into reality. Success doesn't wait. Opportunities don't wait. Life is moving forward whether you take action or not. And if you keep standing still, You're going to look up one day and realize you let time pass you by. Too many people live their lives stuck in someday mode. Someday they'll start the business. Someday they'll chase the dream. Someday they'll take that first step. But someday never comes. Someday is a lie people tell themselves to feel better about standing still. The ones who win in life understand that there is no perfect time. There is no right moment. There is only now. The people who make it are the ones who decide that today is the day, not next week, not next year, not when everything feels right, today. Because they know that waiting is just another way of saying they're scared to start. Fear is the biggest thief of dreams. People are afraid to fail, afraid to look stupid, afraid they're not good enough. But fear is just an illusion. The only way to overcome fear is by taking action. The moment you step forward, fear starts losing its power. The moment you stop overthinking and start doing, you realize that most of what you were afraid of was never even real. The only real failure is never trying. The only real regret comes from looking back and realizing you wasted years talking about what you were going to do instead of actually doing it. There is somebody out there right now who is less talented than you, less skilled than you, less capable than you, but they are winning because they took action while you waited. They weren't smarter than you. They weren't better than you. They just started. And because they started, they got better. They learned along the way. They built momentum. And now while you're still thinking about taking that first step, they're miles ahead. Not because they had more resources, but because they had more urgency. People love to talk about how bad they want success. But real desire is not measured in words. It's measured in action. If you want something, you don't just say you want it. You prove it by how you move. You prove it by how you show up. You prove it by what you do when nobody is watching. If you are serious about changing your life, you need to stop waiting and start moving. You need to stop dreaming and start doing. Because every day you hesitate is a day you lose. Every day you put it off is a day you'll never get back. There will never be a perfect moment. You will never feel 100% ready, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that you take the first step. What matters is that you move, even if you don't have it all figured out, because the longer you wait, the further your dreams get from you. And one day, if you're not careful, you'll wake up and realize you waited too long. You'll realize that the opportunity you kept putting off is gone. And there will be nothing worse than knowing that you could have had everything you wanted if only you had moved sooner. Winning is not something that happens by accident. It's not luck, it's not magic, and it's not reserved for a select few. Winning is a result of effort, discipline, and a relentless mindset. It's about pushing yourself every single day, whether you feel like it or not. Too many people go through life waiting for success to find them, hoping that one day things will magically fall into place. But that's not how it works. If you want to win, you have to push yourself like a winner. You have to train your mind to think like a winner, move like a winner, and work like a winner. Because success doesn't just happen, it's created. Most people start off with big dreams. They talk about what they want, they get excited, and they imagine what life could be like if they reach their goals. But dreaming is the easy part. The real challenge is showing up every single day and putting in the work. The real test is whether you can stay committed when things get hard, when progress is slow, when nobody is watching. Winners understand that it's not about how you feel, it's about what you do. They don't let emotions control their actions. They don't wait until they feel motivated. They push themselves, even when it's uncomfortable, even when they're tired, even when there are no immediate results. Your mind is your biggest weapon or your biggest enemy. Most people lose before they even start because they let doubt creep in. They convince themselves that they're not ready, that they're not good enough, that they don't have what it takes. But winners don't entertain those thoughts. They shut them down. They control their mindset because they know that success starts in the mind. If you think like a loser, you will act like a loser. If you think like a winner, you will push yourself beyond your limits even when it's tough. You will find a way instead of finding an excuse. Pushing yourself like a winner means refusing to settle. It means holding yourself to a higher standard. Most people do just enough to get by. They put in minimal effort and then wonder why they never get ahead. But winners operate differently. They don't do the bare minimum. They go the extra mile. They push harder. They train longer. They study more. They work when others are resting because they understand that success doesn't come to the ones who do what's easy. It comes to the ones who do what's necessary. There will be days when you don't feel like giving your best. There will be moments when everything in you wants to slow down, take it easy, and coast through life. But those are the moments that define you. That's where winners are made. Because anybody can push when they feel good, when things are going their way, when life is easy. But what do you do when it's tough? Do you back down or do you rise up? Do you let challenges stop you or do you push through? That's the difference. That's why some people succeed while others stay stuck. The truth is you are capable of more than you think, but you will never know what you're truly made of unless you push yourself beyond your comfort zone. Winners don't let circumstances define them. They don't wait for the right time. They don't let excuses dictate their future. They take control. They decide that no matter what happens, they will keep moving forward. Because they know that the only way to win is to push like a winner, think like a winner, and work like a winner every single day.